How you doing? I'm Gerald from the ISC, and I'd like to continue with another video. It's just a short one. I don't think it'll take too long. I'm gonna do some more instructional type videos later on. Right now, I'm just gonna chat with you a little bit, and you can write me, or if you view one of these, leave a message, and I'll get back to you if I can. I had a Facebook, and my survival page blew up with about 2,000 people in about less than 2 days, I think. So I've decided to try to go to YouTube with this, and I've still got a whole lot of survival stuff that I still need to take over to the YouTube channel. So I really don't have a lot of survival stuff on there right now, and I've also what I tried to do is try to create something new that wasn't so smutty like Facebook was and stuff. And so I created well, me and a friend at first, and then I kind of went solo. I created a survival website with one of my brothers, and he is now doing some bushcraft, and mine's called the International Survival Council, and to be honest with you, it was on Facebook, and I totally just walked away from it. It just was just overwhelming how fast it just exploded, you know, and to be honest, I spent a lot of time just trying to keep the smut and stuff out. So I decided to go ahead and take this to YouTube. And now nobody's looking at it, but no, I haven't invited anybody, but so no one even knows this site's up. See you the first. Check it out. I think I'm gonna talk about, this one's gonna be titled Fighting the Odds. Now, when you get into a situation and your surroundings are out of control, and you find yourself all of a sudden in a conflict or confrontation with more than two people, I think, you know, back as far as I can think, when I first started doing this back in the 90s, there'd be times we'd be fighting, and it'd be like literally a couple hundred people at a time fighting, and there was only, you know, 6 or 7 of us bouncers at the time, and I got hired on. I think I was making about $30 a night. It wasn't even really paying for my gas to get up there and back. I think I just did it just for the, I don't know. I guess to be honest, I just did it because of the popularity that came with being in a position where you had some kind of a power at a young age, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, fighting the odds. You know, I've been studying submissions for a really long time now. I've been an MMA instructor for a long time, but I trained for a long time before that. I started out doing Western style boxing. From there, I went into the military and continued to box a little bit, and trained in boxing, and then started doing kickboxing and stuff, and then what ended up happening is I you know, to get my black belts and stuff like that, I mean, I went around, I trained with a lot of different really good fighters. You know, I've trained with a lot of the Gracies. You know, I've trained at some of the Gracie schools, Hickson Gracie School, Half Gracie's, Hoist Gracie. We've trained with him. I mean, just, you know, been to some big tournaments with some of my students, and I've been in the corners of some good fighters and stuff. But anyway, I was an instructor for a long time. Now I do just very little personal training and stuff like that. And I had a lot of my friends, close friends, you know, well, mainly 1 or 2, I guess, who wanted me to start implicating the art of fighting and techniques and things like that, because since I've been doing survival as well for a long time now, since I met my brother Corey, he had been doing survival for about, I guess, 20 years when I met him, and we've been knowing each other for a while now. So I've been doing survival for, I don't know, 7, 8 years, I guess. I don't know. I may be wrong about that. Seems like I've been doing it for a lot longer than that because I was a survivalist and didn't even know it, according to Corey. But anyway, let's get right to it. Okay. And it was fighting the odds. All right, fighting the odds. When you get into an altercation, combat, and also teach primitive combat, teach how to make knives and weapons out of, just things you find in the woods and stuff like that too, as well as we teach survival, and stuff like that. And we do it in a Christian way. So don't ever hear me get on here and talking nasty if that's what you want. You might hear me crack a few jokes here and there and cut up with you and stuff, but if you're looking for the big macho, machismo, alpha male brute that's his brain's the size of a pea, I'm not that guy. I try to be a very intellectual, articulate human being. I try not to curse. I try to live right, and I think we can get on here and have a good conversation without me having to get nasty or stupid or anything like that. So, and I want to get you engaged with me in talking about combat and fighting and primitive style fighting or martial arts of any kind, for that matter. Later on, I'll be showing some instructional videos where I actually show hands-on how to do everything from BJJ, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Sambo, wrestling, boxing, Thai boxing. Golly, what we did overall is we took our class and we took every form of martial arts, and anything that didn't work in a real situation, a real combat situation, threw it out, didn't train it. No katas, no forms, no bull. That's just how we felt about it, because the times I wasted, or what little time I wasted, it didn't take me long, but what little time I wasted on doing katas and forms and stuff like that, I was able to learn how to really drop an elbow in from the core and just bring it down, or really pull up a knee as I'm bringing down the head, using the core, and how to generate power from the feet all the way up through the hips and throw an overhand right or an elbow, no matter how I threw it. But anyway, I think there's much more things we can be doing. I think those guys that get you out there and they teach you all these katas and forms, and you spend half your life doing katas and forms, I think it's important to do some kind of something that is a mental calming thing. Don't get me wrong. I think you can do that during your off time, though. I think when you hit the gym, it's time to really train how to really fight in a real situation, in a real scenario. So, again, let's get back to this. That's just my thoughts on that. If you think different, let me know. I'd like to hear it. But fighting the odds. I'm gonna give you some good examples here. If I didn't know anything about submissions, but I was a good boxer, I'd want to keep the fight boxing. I wouldn't want to get taken down. I'd try to defend the takedown, but where I do know submissions and wrestling and stuff, I have learned to defend the takedown. That's something a lot of people don't even know how to do, is defend the takedown and stuff. My friend Shane Tucker, he probably worked with me the best on that in wrestling, as far as takedowns goes. And then I ran into some guys when I moved up into South Carolina, and when I lived there in Spartanburg for a while, and outside of Spartanburg, and up in Northern Virginia, and when I was up in Kentucky and Tennessee, when I had my own class here, and and we had so many people coming in and training and stuff like that, and so many different denominations of fighting and stuff like that. Different styles, different martial arts, but we took what worked and we used that. Anything that didn't work, wasn't effective, simply didn't throw it out. And there's a big difference in fighting on the street than there is in fighting where there's rules. There is no tapping out in a bad situation. There's no tapping out in the club or on the streets. When you get slammed on the streets, they're not as forgiving, or on the dance floor, or anywhere like that, on concrete, on sidewalk, it's not as forgiving as a mat. And all you MMA guys know that. That's if you that has also fought in the street as well. Where I spent, I guess over 20 years now, working as a cooler, a bouncer, and stuff like that. Um, I would have guys I trained with for years who had never been in a fight on the street, but was great fighters. And there's no doubt they probably could have easily won on the street, but you never know. When that fight or flight kicks in, you never know what's going to happen to somebody. I know some guys who's some great fighters that I seen get into it in the clubs and just get mauled because they were out of their element. They were out of their game. They didn't have a referee to say, let's get it on, or break them up, or I was even fighting this guy one time in a club, and and he even started tapping my leg, and I'd had him in a really tight choke, and he started tapping my leg, and I started laughing, and I was like, well, what are you doing, man? Naughty not, and a few exclusive words I said to him, but I pretty much told him naughty not. It's time to go to sleep, babe. But so gave him a little nap, nappy poo. Anyway, when you're fighting the odds, one thing you don't want to do when you're fighting the odds, and what I mean by that is if you're fighting more than two people, especially more than one, even if he's got friends standing around and you ain't got nobody with you or something like that, you can bet when you're winning, if he's a good friend or if that's his brother or family, you can bet you're going to get football kicked, or you're going to get choked out, or you're going to get hit with something, or possibly even stabbed or shot when you start hurting their brother or their best friend or their gang member or whatever. So, or their biker gang, whatever, whoever you're fighting, you can bet you're about to get a good kick to the ribs, the gut, to the face. They're about to take your teeth out, hit over the back of the head, bottles. I mean, the bars are crazy. I mean, if I had I don't know, if I had $1 for everybody that said that had threatened that was going to kill me and this and that, I'd probably be very wealthy man. But that's another story. Fighting the odds. Let me see if I can get through this here. Keep my mind on the one track. Fighting the odds. One thing you don't want to do when you're fighting the odds, or you're more than one person, is you don't want to take the fight to the ground. Now, that's contrary belief to anybody who does nothing but BJJ or Jiu-Jitsu or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, whatever. But I bet even Hoist or Hickson or Halford, I bet any of them guys even tell you, hey, if you get around a bunch of people, because they know fighting. And if you're talking to anybody that really knows fighting, even a good Jiu-Jitsu fighter, a good submission fighter knows better than to go to the ground when the odds are against him. What you want to do, the best case scenario, is to hurt the one as quick as you can and as hard and fast and violent as you can, and try to jet. Because it can only get worse from there, because people's going to be coming from everywhere. And I've been in situations where people literally were coming out of the woodworks, and I felt like I was fighting for hours, although it was probably about an hour, but or 40 minutes or whatever at the most. But literally, it just seems like you are never going to end, because no matter how many people you're whipping, people just keep coming. And I've been in situations like that, and I've been in situations where I knew just by who was leading, it just so happened to be a biker gang, and they were in the club and they were making fun of us, and I had walked away from these people all night long, and our best bouncers had done left and went home. We had a new guy there that night, and I didn't know for sure whether or not he had my back or not, whether I could trust him, because he was new. And we were setting up for New Year's Eve and stuff, for a New Year's party, and there was like 25 bikers that came in, and I made them pizza and everything like that. One of them, the leaders that was there, I guess he was the leader. Everybody was surrounding him and his old lady and stuff, and she'd walk back there and ask me to make her some more pizza, and if I could make the rest of them some more pizza. And I made them pizza for free and everything. And my other buddy that just started working, he got up and started karaoke singing for them and all kinds of stuff while I was putting up decorations and stuff. But anyway, I really try to make them happy, but some people you just can't walk away from. There's some people that just keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. And, you know, the thing of it is, I tried like 3 or 4 times to walk away from this because, you know, I knew how many people there was, and I knew that I didn't really have nobody with me at the time, you know, and I didn't know the new guy, you know, so I really didn't know what he was about, you know, and so as far as I was concerned, I was alone in this. And, you know, I just took it, and finally, it was one of those things to where, you know, I don't want trouble, and then, you know, I switch over to devil mode. I hate to say that. God forgive me. I don't even like to say that anymore. But I mean, the monster comes out, you know. And anyway, the thing of it is, though, is I have been in situations, golly, several times. One time I had gotten into it, and the guy had stepped up to me, and I spun him around, and I slapped him in the choke, and I said in another video, I believe I used him as a shield, and I've done that with not just him, I've done it with other people, but I did the choke standing up, and I lifted him off his feet and arched my back, and he was a little shorter than me, and I just put him right to sleep while he hung there, and I was just actually using him to keep people off me at that point. But anyway, the point is don't go to the ground. Never go to the ground when you're fighting a bunch of people. You're just going to be a human pinata, pretty much. Pool sticks, pool balls, bottles, broken bottles. You're going to become a human pinata in a punching bag, and you're going to become one of those little voodoo dolls where people are sticking stuff in you. Said it's going to be knives or something, or bottles or glass. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. When you're fighting the odds, you know, try to keep the fight standing long enough for you to get away. Unfortunately, I had to work at this place. There was no getting away at this situation. What I had to do is I had to make an example out of this guy, and it seemed to happen. It seemed like about every 6 months or 4 months or so. Sometimes, you know, it would change. It would depend on like the mood of the year or something. Maybe I don't know if it's full moons. I don't know what that was or whatever. But you know, there'd be times when I would have to make an example out of somebody. You know, sometimes for 2-3 weeks in a row, and then no more for a year or so. You know, because everybody was like, you know, that dude there put you to sleep. You know, those guys there, they'll choke you out. If you go down there, acting stupid, they'll choke you out. Because I taught everybody around me how to protect me and how to protect themselves. Because I wanted the best group of guys, and we did. We had the best crew. I got this one friend named Chris. Me and him always like to laugh and joke about how we had the title, you know, the belt. You know, we were undefeated, blah blah blah. You know, but Chris, good guy. Anyway, Chris, shout out to you if you're watching, Chris Ford. You know, there was so many crazy things we ran into, but we always seem to be outnumbered at times. And when you're fighting the odds, never take the fight to the ground unless it's just going to be for a split second. You know, if you're going to pick that person up and give them a double leg takedown or a single fireman's, whatever. If you want to pick them up, I don't care if you're going to pick them up like some wrestler and choke slam them or something, you know, and DDT, whatever. Get up. When you get to ground, you strike hard and you get back up. You know, you don't got time to get on their back and put your hooks in and slide that knife in and put that rear naked choke. You don't have time to do that. You'll be a human football, foosball, whatever you want to call it. It's stupid. Don't ever do it. If you've got a coach and he's teaching you Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you need to go somewhere else. If that's all he does is teach submissions, you need to learn some type of stand-up fighting. I don't care if it's just Western style, regular boxing. I don't care if it's Muay Thai boxing. I don't care what it is. I don't even care if it's kickboxing. Hey, Taekwondo is better. No nothing. You know what I mean? No quan nothing. Do nothing. No. I don't know. I think it's something stupid to say, but hey, I don't care if you just know how to slap fight. You know, you do not go to the ground for a long matter of time when the odds are against you. Never. If anybody or any grappling coach or wrestling coach or something tells you to take the fight to the ground when you're outnumbered, they don't know what they're talking about, and they've never been in a real bad situation. Because when you get in a really bad situation, you ain't got time to play around on the ground. Bottom line. I guarantee you, even, Hoist and Hicks, I guarantee they tell you the same thing, and I bet they've choked more people standing up out in bars and clubs or beaches or whatever as they have on the ground. I used to have that Gracie in action videos when they first came out and stuff like that, and that's when we were training a little bit with Hoist, and we'd met some of the family and this and that, but it's another story. I'm not gonna get into all that nonsense. They're really good guys. You'll find that most of your better fighters are really good people. They're really, they don't have to fight. When you're good, you really don't have to fight. A lot of times your reputation speaks for itself, but at the same time, that can be a double-edged sword. You'll have people that want to try you just because they've heard of you, or they've heard of who you are, how you are, or you've hurt somebody they know or something, and they think they can take you, and they got it in their head, if they take you, and everybody's afraid of you, then everybody's going to be afraid of them. That's just alpha male nonsense. So somebody always wanting to make a name for themselves. There's a lot of professional fighters can't even walk in bars and clubs and stuff like that, because there's always going to be some drunk or some idiot that always wants to run up and try to sucker punch them or knock them out or something like that, so they can say, oh, I got the title, I'm the champ, I knocked out the champ, whatever. Anybody can come up and hit you and you not know what's coming and put you to sleep. I don't care if he's 10, 12-year-old. If he catches you right, he can put you to sleep. You can say, no, Gerald, no. Well, who says that 9, 10-year-old ain't got some baseball bat waiting for you to turn your hip around? I didn't necessarily say it had to come from a punch, but, if you've been fighting for a long time, you do harden up to where you can take no punishment and stuff like that. Whether it be elbows dropping on you or whatever, when your head starts bouncing off that ground, or somebody's dropping stuff on you, and you're getting hit, plus your head's bouncing off that ground, if you ain't got some strength about you and you ain't worked out, and it ain't just about weight, it's about years and years of making your body hardened all over. I used to kick tires, radial tires. People thought I was nuts. They'd come over and kick them once or twice, 3 times, their legs would be bleeding on their shins and stuff. I did it to the point to where, to this day, I still don't have a hair on my shins. And I ain't had none since I was in my early 20s. Maybe my teens, I don't know. But I haven't had hair on my shins in a long time from kicking those tires. But, I'd kick them all the time, and a lot of people that train me just thought I was just nuts. But it wasn't about, I didn't look at it as me being crazy or nuts. I looked at it as me getting better, me being harder than that man, better than that man. If I can be harder than you, if I can be better than you, and if I can take you, I can beat you. If I'm in better shape, I can beat you. And it's a chess match. It's a chess match when it gets to that point. But anyway, that's all I got to say. When you're fighting the odds, try to stay off the ground. Got to learn how to fight standing up too. Jiu-jitsu is good, but it won't save you from everything, especially when you're fighting the odds. Good day. God bless you. Listen, pray for me as I pray for you. I pray for all of you to be safe and blessed and not to get in any fights unless you have to. I'm going to do a video on the consequence of fighting, and stuff here in a little while. But anyway, God bless you. Good night. Pray for me as I pray for my enemies, and I pray they found the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And as always, I ask for everybody to pray for me. I'm Gerald Wilson, International Survival Council. I'm out.